much, so let's talk about this. With me now, Joseph Borelli, a New York City councilman and Trump supporter, and Angela Rye, CNN political commentator and former executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus. So Angela, why not just shutter the foundation and put an end to all of this?
Well, I think James Carville had it right. You cause substantial challenges, and it's not just waves that you're making in the press. You're making waves with people who actually need these resources. I understand the optics of it. I think they're challenging. I think it's been a tremendous distraction for not only the Clinton campaign, but for the Clinton Foundation. So they have a lot of work that they've got to continue to do, and I think a lot of people who legitimately are relying on that work, regardless of the questions they're raising about access, whether or not there are donors, even like Donald Trump, who have helped to provide those types of funds to ensure that people can benefit, whether you're talking about, like you said, HIV or farmers in Africa. I think
so
that's
before we get
work.
into Donald Trump's doing it, because he did donate to the Clinton Foundation, sure, and I'll ask you about that in just a second. But Joseph, I want to hear from you. What about those needy people that benefit from the Clinton Foundation?
Nobody's really questioning that. The problem is that the byproduct of the foundation is the good work it did. The substance of the foundation and the reason for the foundation is to influence the Clintons and gain access to the Clinton family, the State Department, and stuff like that. And I disagree with what Christina said. There is some smoking guns, and you see case after case, and one in particular where a Saudi prince was denied officially a meeting by the State Department with the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, and then someone from the foundation comes up and says, by the way, he's a friend of ours, which is first of all, it's odd mafia terminology, like he's some friend of ours. Oh, yes, it is.
This is a relationship business. You're in politics.
But what does that even mean? He's a friend of ours. He is a friend of the foundation. So therefore, Hillary Clinton should alter her decision to meet with this person. If this Saudi prince donated to the United Way or the Girl Scouts, would he have gotten the same treatment? No. That's why there really is a smoking gun here.
Here's what we do know. Okay, so there were requests directed to Clinton's deputy chief of staff and confidant, Uma Abedin, right? The requests from donors would often come through Doug Band, who was a longtime Bill Clinton aide who helped create the Clinton Foundation, and Abedin was the primary contact, right? Band declined to comment on the newly released emails, I just want to say, because we did reach out to them. But what came of this, we just don't know, because the donors didn't always get what they wanted, particularly when they sought anything more than a meeting.
So I guess the thing that I would raise here, and maybe it just works different for the city council, but I would say as a former Hill staffer, there are a lot of people who are friends of your bosses, and what ends up happening is, regardless of if they've donated or not, or they're just who they worked with over the years providing constituent services, a friend of a member means you shouldn't just ignore the email, whether you give them what they want or not, because you're not supposed to be breaking any rules or ethics rules. There have been allegations. We don't know that there are any ethics rules broken. You still reply. You still respond. You should do that with constituents, period, but you definitely don't ignore your friend.
But should those requests have come through Uma Abedin?
Well, I don't know the parameters of that. And so for me, I think that it's treacherous territory when you start commenting without all of the facts. What I will say is Uma has worked with Secretary Clinton for a long time. To your point, trusted confidant. If someone goes to Uma, they know that it's likely to be seen by Hillary Clinton. I think that's a sign of good staff work. I don't think that's a smoking gun.
Uma was working for the foundation and for the State Department at the same time. I think there's a conflict of interest in that in itself. But
she got special clearance for that.
But you're right, though. In one incident may not be a smoking gun, but you have the FBI and 3 separate Department of Justice field office coming to the Attorney General and saying, we believe there's enough evidence of criminal conduct with the Clinton Foundation that we should investigate. And guess who killed it? Coincidentally, the same person who met with Bill Clinton on a private plane. That is a problem. And that's why Donald Trump is calling for a special prosecutor. You have the FBI saying there's evidence, let us investigate, Department of Justice killing it.
I don't think he will call for a special prosecutor until he's president of the United States.
Anyone can call for it. He's asking the president to appoint a special prosecutor.
But he's also calling for something in a system that he's already sold to his supporters as a rigged system.
Okay, we're going to continue our conversation, but I got to take a break, so you two stick around. Still to come in the newsroom. Donald Trump's message to minorities is simple. What have you got to lose? But for some African American and Hispanic voters, Trump's eyebrow-raising rhetoric does not match their reality.